All right, let's do it. Maher, bro, how are you?
I'm good, man. Can't complain. Just been at the shop all day, getting ready for the grand opening. So, feeling good.
Beautiful. A couple weeks, right?
Couple weeks out. Today is it's the 14th today?
Yeah.
Yeah, so we're opening the 29th, which is 15 days away, so a couple weeks.
Bet. So first question I have for you is, who are you?
My name's Maher, but a lot of people know me as Munch. That's just been my nickname basically my whole life at this point. So, yeah, I'm just a creative living in Detroit, trying to make space for community and have fun while I'm doing it.
Bet.
Yeah.
And one of the reasons why I wanted to talk with you is I'm really interested in how you approach or just found a way to sustain yourself off your passion.
Cool.
Right. While building platforms and just things that the community can also engage in. So it's not just for self, it's for everyone, right?
Oh yeah.
And so I think in the end, that's what everyone's trying to go for, right? Everyone's trying to work towards something like that. So I think it's interesting that you're doing it, and we're able to do it being young and so on. And so yeah, I just wanted to figure out what your journey has entailed up to this point.
Yeah, sweet.
So first, I want to start off with what was your introduction to creativity?
Oh, I mean, I feel like one of my earlier memories is art class in school. You know what I'm saying? Painting, drawing. Yeah, those are my earlier memories when it comes to school. So in terms of being creative, those were the classes that always stuck out, the most to me.
Right.
But what kind of led me on my journey now, that was a very pivotal moment, was when I was 15, I started rapping. And I just loved making music. I used to freestyle with friends, and I would actually do this thing where, people would come over my house and we would go in my room and I would just blast some beats, turn the lights off and just be rapping, and we would just get lost in the music. And it kind of really just defined how I wanted to live my life. I wanted music to be at the center of it, and I thought it was a unique way to bring people together. So, from that moment on, I started going to the studio, and it just spiraled into what I'm doing today.
Yeah, and that was going to be kind of my follow-up to that question. Was so you see everything as an offshoot of that 15-year-old in his room making music. Everything that you've done since is just you following that same path and that passion.
Oh yeah, definitely. So yeah, I knew when I started going to the studio, I loved the energy it gave me and the feeling it gave me, and I knew I wanted to do that the rest of my life. And so it's very non-traditional. So I couldn't really look for advice, from people around me, because not a lot of people experienced, making something creative their life. Maybe they experienced starting a business, but they never, I didn't really know any full-time musicians, right? So I kind of just kept going to the studio on the weekends during high school, and it just consumed me. It led me to I really only wanted to be there instead of going out, partying, hanging with friends. I just wanted to be at the studio all weekend. So I started asking people around me in the studio, how do I make this my life? How do I make it my full-time job? I'm thinking I don't want to work in an office or anything. And it was really just you're not going to make money selling your music, so you got to make money playing shows and doing merch. And yeah, from that moment on, it kind of stuck in my head, okay, I need to play shows and I need to sell merch at those shows to make money. So, played some shows, made a little merch with Munch on it, and yeah, like I said, it just really spiraled from there. It snowballed. Yeah, I mean, basically when I went to college, how do I explain this? I took a break from making music when I went to college because I was a young kid, just I had freedom, so I was definitely taking advantage of that freedom. And I eventually found my way back to music, and I was all right, let me give this a try. So then I was in college playing shows at every venue. I went to school in Ann Arbor, so I was playing everywhere in Ann Arbor. I was working with student orgs, I was doing open mics, and eventually I started my brand, and I was playing these shows, and yeah, it's kind of that got me on my journey.
And so with that, how'd you get involved in like opening up Big Pink?
Yeah, so like I said, in college I started throwing parties, right? And my best friend, who I've known since 3rd grade, he would come from Chicago to come to the parties, and he was a photographer. And yeah, like once we graduated from school, we were like, yo, let's go move to Detroit and let's live together and let's see what happens. And so we moved in together 2017, and we started throwing these pop-ups every month where it was like DJs, artist markets, food, and just like a dope vibe. And you know, we just our energy worked with each other, where like we fueled each other in ways where we were like really, you know, excited about putting on these events. And so, you know, one event turned to 2 to 3 to 4, and every month we were doing these events and started making some money. And then right when the pandemic hit, you know, obviously we had to stop throwing events, and we made the decision. It was like very much a crossroad. It was like, okay, do we stop doing this and like go get a job, go get jobs and figure this out? Or do we go all in and really try to make this, you know, a business? And if we looked at all the shows we were throwing, they were like making money. So I was like, okay, we have like a business plan kind of. We have a proof of concept. Now we just need a space, because that was where we really struggled, was a space to actually put on these events. We always were like finding different places. So like art galleries, you know, art studios, random warehouses, you know, abandoned buildings. Like we were really always finding different places, and with those different places came different issues. So if we had our own space, we knew exactly what we could do and how to like maximize it and put on events. So we took the proof of concept, we got a building, we renovated it, and November 2022, we opened the doors. And you know, ever since then, we've been rocking.
Makes sense. And
yeah,
my follow-up to that is like, I think sometimes people, you can struggle with giving yourself authority, right?
Okay.
I think some people talk about it like imposter syndrome.
Yep.
Right? Like, okay, yeah, you know, I want to throw my own event and put my own spin on it, but I don't have this experience, or I don't have that criteria. I don't know this person. How did you and Chester approach giving yourselves authority? Did it just come naturally, or did you guys have to like say, "No, we got this"? Like, was it even a thought?
Well, we feed off each other for sure. Like when one of us has an idea, like we're pretty straightforward on like, oh, this is cool. Oh, this won't work because of, you know, we don't really shoot ideas down. We always will hear them out and be like, okay, how could this work? How could this not work? But for those first few events, we didn't really know what we were doing. You know, we were kind of winging it. And we realized that if we took the basic concept of put on an event, you know, get an opener, get a headliner, sell pre-sale tickets, like it just like washed out. You know, it's not like you're kind of just taking something that other places are doing in the city and not really contributing. So we're like, well, what can we do different? So what we would do is we would get as many people involved as possible. We'd get an artist market. We'd put 10 vendors in an artist market. We'd get an installation, someone to build an installation. We'd have a muralist. We would have DJs. We would have people selling food. And when you bring all those things together, plus us, you have, you know, 20 plus people a part of this event now, instead of just like us two relying on getting, you know, 300-400 people out. So we took this idea that get as many people involved as possible. Each of those people will bring 10, 20 people. And then if you have 200, or if you have 20 people involved, they all bring out 20 people. Now you got 400 people in the room.
Right.
You know, so it's way easier having 20 people bring 20 people out than 2 people bringing, you know, 200 people out each. You know what I'm saying?
Exactly, yeah.
Just like get the community involved. And I always say, like, don't be afraid to fail that first time. You got to do it to know if it'll work or if it won't. And just try it out and see what happens. And if it doesn't work, you have the choice then to like live, keep going, and move on. Or you can like learn from it. And you learn and you adjust and you tweak, and then you do your second event. And then you kind of are like, you're rolling from there.
Right.
right?
And you got into music first, and then screen printing came along as a way of like selling merch and things like that.
Yeah.
Can you tell that story a bit?
Yeah, 100%. I mean, when I decided I wanted to be a musician, I decided I wanted to create a web where everything I did came together, you know? And it was hard because I had this like idea of like, okay, I have music, I have clothes, and I have events. And I'm like, how can I intermingle everything where my life is just, you know, a constant like flowing from one to the other, you know? And so, you know, during the pandemic, I was making a bunch of clothes. That was my full-time job during the pandemic. I was going crazy, making 100 tie-dye shirts at once, screen printing them, putting them on Instagram, selling them out of my truck, you know, running a whole shop out of my basement. And then eventually it was like, okay, I mean, I'm about to open this club up, and I'm about to meet a bunch of creatives in this club and musicians and just people who are active in the community. So maybe I just take a bigger step with this print shop, and I move out the basement and I really try and make it a thing. And so, yeah, that's kind of where it stemmed from. I was like, okay, this is another opportunity for me to like level up this passion of mine and take it out of the basement, take it off a little screen printing press, you know, saved some money, and then I really was like, all right, let me invest in better equipment, let me invest in a better space, and like I said, it just snowballs, man. It's like I chase the feeling of like, oh, this is gonna make me better, you know? I chase the feeling of like, I made money, let me put it back in and see where it'll go, you know? And yeah, so I've been running this space. It's been like 2 years where I've had a screen printing setup in here, and I've renovated it and moved it and around. And yeah, more recently I've been inspired to like sell vintage and sell the clothes here because it's a really busy intersection and it's in a pretty dense community. So I feel like I can add value to the community with what I create. And yeah, so that's kind of like where I'm at now. I'm about to open up shop here in 2 weeks.
Nice. What's so when you talked about your music and also like how you ended up opening Big Pink, you said you know, if we follow the model that other community events kind of follow, we'll kind of get washed out, right? We need to find a way to get as many people involved in it. And then you kind of talked about your blueprint for everybody bringing someone, right? Yeah. You kind of added your own twist to it. It's kind of what I'm getting at. And so with opening up a print shop, you aren't just deciding to just open up, hey, we screen print. You're saying we do vintage too. So is that your own way of throwing I'm sure obviously it's your own way of throwing like a new twist on the environment of screen printing shops?
Yeah, I haven't really ever been in a vintage shop that combines both worlds. You know what I'm saying? Where it's like, okay, we source vintage and we also screen print for clients. So like what I do is I source all the vintage here and things I like, put it on the rack. If it sells as is, dope. If it doesn't, then we'll put it on the press and we'll screen print some stuff over it. And we'll make it like super custom and like more of a one-off piece. And then, you know, people come here and they don't find something they don't like. I have a rack of blank hoodies, crew neck shirts they can pick from. I have screens already made, and then now it becomes interactive where they can decide what they want printed on it, you know? So I haven't really seen someone create a space where it's like engaging and, I don't know, it provides a different experience for the customers.
Right, and that's what you're going for.
Yeah.
Yeah, I appreciate you, Maher.
No problem, man. Hopefully it all works out.
Yeah.
Sweet.
Thank you.
Thank you.